Look at your hand. You know it's yours. You can feel it right now. That feeling is just a signal. An electrical storm traveling from your hand to your brain. Your brain is a machine. It's the most complex machine in the universe. It processes data, zeros and ones, electricity and chemicals. So when you see the color red, your brain processes the frequency of light. That's all. It's just data. But where does the feeling of red come from? The warmth, the emotion, the experience. This is the great mystery, the unbridgeable gap between the physical brain and the subjective mind. Science calls it the hard problem. It raises the ultimate question. If your reality is just an experience generated inside your head, then what are you? If you're ready to question everything you think you know about yourself, subscribe now. Together, we will attempt to crack the code of consciousness. Consciousness. It is the most familiar and yet the most mysterious phenomenon in the universe. It is not a single thing. It is a storm of sensations, memories, thoughts, and emotions. It is the movie playing in your head right now. From a scientific perspective, your brain is a biological computer, a network of 86 billion neurons firing in complex patterns, processing information. Science can map this activity. It can see which parts of your brain light up when you see a color, hear a melody, or understand a word. It can map the function, but here we hit a wall. A wall so profound, it has a name. The hard problem of consciousness. We can explain how your brain processes the wavelength of red light, but we cannot explain why you have the private, internal, subjective experience of redness. Why does all that electrical and chemical processing feel like something? This is the riddle that haunts science and philosophy. And this riddle opens a Pandora's box of dizzying questions. Is your dog conscious in the same way you are? Could a complex enough computer one day wake up and feel afraid? The mystery of consciousness is not just a question about the brain. It is a question about the very nature of reality itself. To be conscious is to hold a single precious flame of awareness in the vast, dark, unfeeling cosmos. From this flame, everything you know is born. Your sense of self, your perception of the world, your search for meaning. The machine is there, the data is there. But the experience, the ghost in the machine, remains the greatest unsolved mystery. How can we even begin to crack a code that is also the code breaker? To solve the riddle of consciousness, scientists first looked inside the machine. If experience is generated by the brain, where is the engine? One popular idea is called the global workspace theory. It imagines consciousness as a theater. Your mind is a vast, dark auditorium of unconscious processes. When you pay attention to one specific thought or feeling, it's like an actor stepping into a single, bright spotlight on stage, broadcasting its information to the entire silent audience of your mind. But another, more mathematical theory suggests consciousness isn't a place, but a property. Integrated Information Theory, or IIT. It proposes that consciousness is a measure of a system's complexity and integration. The more interconnected the parts of a network are, the more conscious it becomes. This measure of integrated information is called phi. Under this theory, even simple life forms might have a tiny flicker of consciousness, a very low phi value. A simple, unified experience of being. But a supercomputer, while incredibly powerful, might have a phi of 0. Its parts are complex, but not deeply integrated in the right way. It's a zombie, processing vast information with no inner experience at all. But what if we're looking in the wrong place entirely? A more ancient and radical idea is re-emerging: panpsychism. It suggests that consciousness isn't something the brain creates, but something the brain channels. That consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe itself. Like gravity or mass, and every piece of matter has a tiny spark of it. Other theories dive even deeper into the bizarre world of quantum mechanics. They propose that the secret to consciousness isn't in the neurons, but in the subatomic reality inside them. Here in the quantum realm, a single thought can exist in a ghostly state of multiple possibilities at once, collapsing into a single reality only when it becomes conscious. The theater, the crystal, the cosmic spark, the quantum ghost. These are the brilliant, competing theories at the very frontier of human knowledge. And yet, as beautiful as they are, none of them have yet managed to break through that final wall. None of them can yet explain that final, impossible mystery. Why does it feel like something to be you? If consciousness is a product of the brain's mechanics, then what does that say about the one thing that feels most real? Yourself. Modern neuroscience suggests there is no single you located in a command center in your head. Instead, the self is a story your brain constantly tells itself, weaving together thousands of separate fragments, memories, desires, and impulses into the illusion of a single, unified protagonist. You are not a single entity. You are a collection of competing drives, a chaotic parliament of urges, all bundled together and given a single name. And what of your choices? That feeling of being in control. Experiments have shown that the brain often makes a decision up to 7 seconds before the conscious you is even aware of having made it. This raises a disturbing possibility that your conscious self is not the author of your actions, but merely a spectator watching a show put on by your unconscious mind. Free will may be a ghost, a powerful and convincing illusion, a postscript your brain writes to make sense of the actions it was already going to take. You didn't consciously decide to pick up that cup of coffee. Your brain decided, and then you experience the feeling of having decided. If the self is an illusion and free will is a ghost, what then of reality itself? Your brain is not a window to the world. It is locked in the silent, dark prison of your skull. Everything you see, hear, and feel is not reality, but your brain's best guess. A controlled hallucination. The world you experience is a simulation, a detailed model built from the raw data of your senses. A model so perfect, you forget you're living inside it. And this leads to the most profound and unsettling conclusion of all. You are not in the universe. The universe is in you. As we struggle to understand the mystery within ourselves, we are simultaneously trying to build it from the outside, creating a silicon brain. Artificial intelligence is evolving at an exponential rate. From simple algorithms to complex systems that can create art, compose music, and speak with human-like fluency. But this raises the ultimate technological question. Could we create a machine that is not just intelligent, but is actually aware? Or will we only ever create a perfect zombie? An empty shell that perfectly simulates understanding, with no one home. It is the hard problem, revisited in code. We can build the complexity, but can we ever program the experience? How would we even know if we succeeded? The famous Turing test was designed to see if a machine could fool us into thinking it was human. Today's AI can already pass this test, but fooling a human is not the same as being conscious. A simulation of intelligence is not the same as an inner life. The real test would be deeper. Could an AI be genuinely moved by a sunset? Could it truly understand the heartbreaking beauty of a sad melody? Could it feel empathy? Or would it only ever be a perfect mimic? A puppet that has learned to cry on cue without feeling the sorrow. This is the test for a soul. And perhaps our relentless quest to build a conscious machine is simply another way of asking the same questions about ourselves. We are trying to build a mirror to finally see what we are. As we look outwards to the frontiers of technology, the mystery always brings us back to the universe within. And here lies the most profound thought of all. Perhaps consciousness is not a temporary accident, confined to a biological brain. Perhaps it is a fundamental property of the cosmos itself, a way for the universe to wake up and experience its own beauty and wonder. Perhaps you are not just a flicker of awareness in the universe. Perhaps you are the universe, becoming aware of itself. The mystery is not a problem to be solved. It is the very essence of what it means to be, a timeless and beautiful echo of genius.